Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Hello and welcome to this Rabbits video. We are on Season 2, Episode 3, Part 1, titled Path Cards. This is for those who have enjoyed Season 1 and The Path. We're starting to put those elements together in this episode in moving forward. So without any further ado, let's get on with it.
We're going to need to stay sharp if we end up finding the traveler.
You believe your friend was playing rabbits?
She started seeing mysterious men in gray.
What's going to happen then? We're going to play his game.
It should be just up ahead. Once you open the door, you can take off the blindfold.
What do you know about chaos theory?
The streets were red, then black with blood.
That sounds poetic.
As you can tell, we got a little bit differences in the opening. I don't think I've done the opening on episode 1 or 2, so I thought I would go ahead and do it this one.
Where are you now?
The bottom line isn't money or purpose, it's inspiration.
Are we still gonna have sex?
I'm afraid not.
A lot of people don't understand the power they're dealing with. I need you to promise me you'll only use these cards for good.
Yeah, we're gonna get into some kind of like metaphysical type themes and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting.
Our last episode ended with my receiving a message from somebody claiming to be the magician. If you've listened to Season 1 of Rabbits, you'll remember the magician. He's reputedly an expert on the game who rarely or never talks about it. It's a strange dichotomy, I know. But the magician did end up speaking with me about the game, and I'll play that conversation in a moment. But right now, we're going back in time, back to the original Silk Road.
And that's one of the things I do enjoy about this series is the jumping, the way it jumps, the way it transitions from one thing to another and sets something up to be looking forward to.
Back to cave temples in 6th century China, to the birth of a famous emblem, an image that's become known as the 3 hairs.
And this is kind of interesting. It does have some real-world implications, but it also has a whole lot of fiction woven into it. It's done real well.
In a wide variety of cultures around the world, hares and rabbits are used to represent deities. From Finland to Siberia, China, and the ancient Aztecs, rabbits are everywhere. In fact, rabbits is the name of a border Morris dance from the 16th century in Britain. Although the image of a solitary hare isn't common in British armory, the argent, or image of 3 hares, is quite well known.
Actually, argent is white or silver in European heraldry, so I've not ever come across this argent being referred to as a rabbit in European heraldry, but it is what it is. I could be wrong. It could have been something that I just haven't stumbled across yet.
The depiction of these three hares is particularly interesting. They're woven together in a strange looping puzzle, a kind of optical illusion. There are three hares, or rabbits, chasing each other. Similar to the image of the triple spiral, the three hares has a rotational symmetry. Each ear is shared by two rabbits. Only 3 ears are shown in total. From the symbol's first appearance in China in the 6th century to its prevalence in Britain many centuries later, this remarkable icon's origins and original significance are unknown. Nobody is sure why.
It sounds more, your ancient Chinese and maybe your pre-Christian Europeans.
Why it appears in such diverse locations around the world. Because each of the rabbits shares an ear with another, the 3 rabbits may only be seen individually as anatomically correct. When you attempt to see all of the rabbits at once, defining their ears becomes impossible. The image of the 3 hares with the strange ears has been used as a religious symbol, an architectural ornament, and as the centerpiece of many different coats of arms. The motif of the hares can also be found in a large number of medieval European churches.
Yes, and it is a pretty cool emblem. But it is one of those things. It's one of those things. The more you look at it, the stranger it becomes. It is. I forgot what its actual heraldic designation is. However, it is not argent, but it might be something similar and can be pronounced correctly as argent, though. European heraldry is, especially medieval and Renaissance period, is kind of interesting. They have some very peculiar rules. And it's something, if you ever get on a side quest to look into, it's kind of interesting.
Its prominence in churches has led many scholars to conclude that the hares represent the Holy Trinity. But there is another interpretation. The symbol of the 3 hares was found in an illuminated manuscript discovered in the late 19th century by a Dutch archaeologist named Pardish Salander. Salander found the manuscript while on a dig near Dartmoor in England. This manuscript is very similar to the Voynich manuscript, except rather than strange flora, this manuscript depicts a wheel beneath the world.
Which is a really common form of symbolism. If you go in and read Stephen King's Dark Tower series, you get similar animal motifs for the governing, the moving of the world, and stuff like that. I find it interesting, anyhow, that it crosses over so many mythologies, and it's grown in different parts of the world, and it's always animals, rabbits, bears, turtles, frogs, stuff like that. And there's very little of your ancient and antiquity stuff that involves humans. It's stuff involving humans and those kind of motifs is something rather new, only about 2,400 years or so for, and in the time, the overall grand scheme of time, 2,400 years is not a long time at all.
Many historians believe that it's a fake that was created in the medieval period, but others are not so sure. Carbon dating and careful analysis at Cambridge led a group of graduate students to declare the document genuine, and they claim to have been able to decode part of it as well. They claim that the manuscript is a kind of illustrative warning.
Yes, you have to take, or at least in this universe, the Rabbits universe, warnings from antiquity are probably worth heeding.
There is a wheel sitting beneath what is clearly a map of the known world at the time. The wheel is filled with strange, detailed lines and vectors that, at that moment in history, artists and historians used to represent energy. Decoded text sitting below one of the more significant images was translated by those graduate students at Cambridge as a warning. Do not interfere with the wheel beneath the world, for if you do, all that is order will be undone, and all that is chaos will be unleashed, and all that is known will become unknown.
Kind of have the fall of the Roman Empire and fall of the ancient Greece technologies and stuff. Kind of sounds like something like that may have been interfered to bring the onset of the Dark Ages.
There's another example of the three hares in a Dutch engraving, the oldest example of this kind of motif as a puzzle or riddle. There's a caption around the image that reads, "The secret is not great when one knows it, but it is something to one who does it. Turn and turn again, and we will also turn, so that we give pleasure to each of you. And when we have turned, count our ears. It is there, without any disguise, that you will find a marvel."
And yeah, you get into this, and from the viewpoint of the Rabbits universe, it becomes pretty cool pretty quick. So yeah, I mean, there are elements of this podcast, depending on how nerdy you want to have a social get together or whatever. It is, you can have like party games. In our world, our reality, there's really nothing to it other than some passing enjoyment. However, in the setting in the Rabbits universe, it gets really strange really quick.
From the Public Radio Alliance and Minnow Beats Whale, you're listening to Rabbits. I'm Riley Bennett. Stay with us.
I had forgot about it, about the actual, you having a kind of like a pre-intro, then a little bit of story, then the main intro. I could, when I was doing the second part for the last episode, and the actual intro was so far in, I'd forgotten about it, and it kind of confused me there for a second.
Separating biology and the behavioral sciences from architecture is a fatal mistake.
And if you listen closely to the voices in the background, they kind of give you a heads up or a teaser what is coming down the road. And the fun part about it is you don't know if it's going to be in this episode or 5 episodes later. It's kind of interesting that way. Keeps you on your toes.
I don't have much time, but I wanted to reach out to let you know that I think what you're doing is a mistake, a huge mistake.
That's the man they call the magician, calling from an unknown number. I asked if he'd be willing to meet with me in person, but he told me that was impossible. He wasn't in Seattle and wasn't sure when he'd be returning. I asked him about the arcade, why it was locked, but he simply ignored my question. So you reached out and left me a message. I was wondering what...
I'd like you to stop producing your show.
Oh?
Your show about the game.
Why is it every time we start pulling at the thread of a potential conspiracy here at the Public Radio Alliance, somebody wants us to stop talking about whatever it is we're talking about?
Don't know, don't care. Just need you to stop.
Like I've said in past episodes, he is probably one of my favorite characters. So, yeah, he's probably somebody, if you're in this universe playing this game, you might want to listen to.
How did you know I've been working on a show about the game?
I understand this is a bit of a strange request, but I believe it's important for your health and safety.
You want me to stop producing this podcast for me? For my own safety?
That's correct, but not just your safety, the safety of, well...
What?
My therapist has convinced me that I might be a bit of a challenge personality-wise, and part of that is empathy. She says that I do not have it, empathy, but that for me it's like a walled-off garden.
Okay, I'm not really...
She wants me to explore other points of view and perspectives.
I'm not sure what that has to do with any...
The 9th iteration of the game. Everybody involved is in immediate danger.
So the 9th iteration is still running? Hello?
That can be kind of spooky sometimes. When talking to somebody and just kind of not there, but you never heard them hang up.
This was a bad idea.
What do you mean?
I'm calling to warn you to stay away from the game, to ask you to stop, not to confirm or deny what's currently happening surrounding it.
Well, then I'll have to respectfully decline.
That's not good.
I would be willing to meet you in person to discuss this whenever you want.
That's not going to work if none of us have time, or can remember the time.
Now, time dilation and playing with the memories, that could be fun from us as the listener, but I imagine to have something like that happen to you in real life would be spooky.
What does that mean?
What do you know about multiverse theory? I'm going to have to call you back. There's somebody here. That's not the proper set of symbols. There's no text to confirm that. No way.
At that point, as you heard, the magician was cut off. He hasn't called back, but I'll keep you posted if and when he does.
And we'll go ahead and call this good here. Thank you for listening. Thank to all the 49 people that have subscribed. If you want to listen to more, I'll be doing more down the road. I have been procrastinating on the Doom 2000 and Children of Doom 2003 sci-fi video. I hope to have time this coming up week. These first couple days of May have been rough in the real world due to just catastrophic rain. In the last 3 days, we've gotten over our annual rainfall, so I'm dealing with flooding and things washing out. So that's one of the reasons why I've been procrastinating on my videos, but because I've had other things to do. So, well, procrastination, yeah, that, and with tons of other stuff to do. So until next time, everyone, have fun, be good humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?